Yeah, listen, great game, two very good teams, and for us, the whole thing in the second half was like we just have to be the tougher team, and these guys, the whole group, Vaughn in the first half hit two threes when we were struggling to score. Just you can go on and on. Chris Payton's dunk, just the toughness displayed by the whole collective group was off the charts, and you know what, we're deserving of where we are, and these guys led us the whole way. We're 28-6, and we've run the gauntlet in this conference, right? From last Friday, beating Akron on senior night. Before that, Ohio, we were down in the second half. Game we lost earlier in the year, Northern Illinois, we had to beat them, who we had lost to early in the season, which cost us the regular season championship, to going back and having to beat Akron twice in a week. And it's not easy to do, which we did. And then tonight against a team that had won 17 straight games, that's not easy to do. So congratulations to these guys. Couldn't be prouder of the whole group from top to bottom, from A to Z. And I'll let you ask these guys questions.
How good does it feel to finish the job this year?
It feels great, especially because this is just our ultimate goal. And I feel like since this weekend started, everybody brought in. It was really no selfish energy ever in our huddle or in a conversation, and everybody had each other back. Whatever coach wanted us to do, we were willing to sacrifice and put it all on the line. And just coming here last year and we lost, and we kept 75-55 in our head. And I remember I felt like I worked my hardest that year, and then doing all that and losing, it's just a part of the game. But I turned up my grind, and every time I was tired or I didn't want to wake up to go to a workout at 7 in the morning or go get some shots up at late, I just remember 75-55. So I was just pushing for this moment right here, and I feel a lot of relief, but we not done. It's still more to do.
I'm going to also add, I got him 1 second of rest today, so he did. I'm looking pretty good, right?
Miryne, you're a hometown kid. You've talked a lot about how much you love being from home. Can you describe the feeling when you climb that ladder and cut down the net to the place where your favorite NBA team plays?
I never thought that I would be able to feel what someone else felt, and I'm speaking on LeBron James. Bringing the ring back to Cleveland, being from Cleveland, being from Northeast Ohio, and it's a surreal feeling. I've never accomplished something like this in my life, and now I can finally say I've done something like this.
Malique, can you just talk about what happened last year and to get to this moment? Talk about your personal journey from this past calendar, the whole year. It seems like, because I asked you on Wednesday and you said this is it was motivation for you.
Yeah, man. To be honest, this is supposed to happen. I'm blessed for it to happen, but. Like Sin said, we grinded. Me and Sin came back for this. This been a goal. This what, since our beginning of the game, we pray. Please let us get in the MAC championship. That's the end of all our prayers. This is supposed to happen, so I'm just blessed that it did happen.
That's the really for any of you guys. Just with you guys all being starters and you see the way your bench performed tonight, what's that do for you guys?
It's good. It starts off with us, when they see our seniors out there competing, diving on the ground and stuff like that. They have no choice to, match our energy. We have great bench players like Chris. He went 7 for 7. Jalen, he hit some threes. Not Vaughn, but the other Julius, he came in, got good stops. Just everybody. We all did good.
This is a question for any of the players. Obviously, I'm sure growing up, watching the NCAA tournament all the time, now you're finally going to get a chance to play in it. First one in 6 years to do it. Your thoughts?
I'm just trying to soak it in, feel me? Not take it for granted, and I want to make some noise in it. I'm not just going just to experience the moment. I'm trying to win.
I think we're going to try to make a bigger name for ourselves that we already made. Everybody in the country know we're a good team, but now we got to show them.
Sin, we talked about your upbringing yesterday. To a kid from Farrell or Sharon that watched you today, what do you have to say to a kid that watched you and was inspired?
Never give up. Just no matter how bad your circumstances are, no matter where you at, you could go through a lot of adversity. Just never give up. It's better days coming. Just stay focused and do the right thing in life.
didn't win any of those games. That trip you guys went, Charleston, Houston, Gonzaga, what did that do in terms of just confidence and gaining that experience against those quality teams?
When we played against those competitive games and those competitive teams, we knew that we should have left with wins in Houston, at Gonzaga, at Charleston. So we tried to key in on not trying to let those games happen again. So if we get into that same situation, like, we're ready. We're more than ready.
Any additional questions for our MAC champion student athletes before they're dismissed?
Has a nice ring to it.
Sound good, Matt. Champion, student
Matt
athletes,
champs.
right? That
We'll go ahead
sound
and
good,
dismiss the MAC
baby.
champs then before we move on to questions for Coach.
Congrats, guys.
Congrats, guys.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, talk about Jalen Sullinger's performance in the second half.
Awesome. Like all of these guys across the board. He's developed so much over the course of the year. Defensively, he's always been a great offensive player, even going back to last year. But defensively, and he's picking up full court the entire game. Just a huge spark. He's the sixth man of the year in the league for a reason. And tonight, his contribution off the bench, and quite honestly, if he didn't win sixth man of the year, Chris Payton could have won it, right? Like, both of those guys' contributions off the bench was huge for us. Huge.
Coach, you mentioned how big Peyton was. Can you just talk about what with the injury? What was it exactly?
Listen, this dude, he there's times in practice that I think he's going to be out for a month with how he reacts to an injury or whatever it may be, and he's back. So I was worried. I'm not going to lie. Like, I heard him and I was worried, but he went and got with our trainer and retaped his ankle, and then he played better. So we may tell him he's got to sprain his ankle this week. I don't know. But he's been again, like Jalen and his development over the course of the year. I don't think I've had any player that from the start of the season to the end of the season has developed individually like Chris, and it all comes down to his mental fortitude because when you look last year, I think he scored 6 points the whole season at Pitt. And this year, at the beginning of the year, he really struggled. So it's really a testament to him. And that dunk that he had, that was somewhat of a backbreaker. I'd have to go through the actual play-by-play for me to know, but that seemed like a backbreaker. It energized us, and it really seemed to sort of shift the momentum.
And it's been 6 years since you guys last made the tournament. How special and important is this to you?
I mean, it's great for these guys. Like, that's who I care about. These guys, it's awesome for them because last year was a really tough evening for us. About probably a year ago tonight, it was a tough evening for us. So really proud of them and happy for them. And then obviously our school, the athletic department, the university. These things are special moments. You said 6 years, and one of those years it got canceled, but it's hard to get to the NCAA tournament. I mean, when you're in this league, it's hard. Look at some of the schools in our conference, and it is hard to get to this point. So, really happy for everybody who's involved with the program.
Rob, why do you think you've had so many good teams? Why do you think this one is the one that did make it?
I think the senior leadership from these guys. The last time we went, Jimmy was a senior, and his leadership. And Dion was a senior leader. But really, these three guys, and Miryne, it's not easy to get here and be here for just 8 months, 9 months, but he's done a great job of buying in, and I thought he had his best week here in Cleveland. And then Sin and Malique every day. Like, there hasn't been a day that they haven't thought about this. The locker room, I actually got to get the code changed, but our locker room code was 7555. We got to make sure that gets changed tonight. But that was a reminder, and they clearly, it was on their mind. So if the locker room gets vandalized tonight, you got to have to make a phone call. David Rusher's going to have to work right now. Change it.
Hey, Rob, did they verbalize that to you, though, beyond, the code on the door? And
Listen, It's not something we talk about every day. It's not, but to act like they knew that last year we got beat. It's so hard to get to this game, right? Last year we got beat pretty badly, and obviously it was adverse circumstances for us. But I said it last year. Akron deserved to win. They outplayed us. I mean, that's the bottom line. But I think I don't want to use the word redemption, but I'm sure there's a little bit of feeling of that throughout the program for all of our guys.
Last night you told us you're not going to outshoot Toledo.
No.
Until you did.
No, I don't think we did.
What was the offense being able to perform so well tonight?
We outscored them, but I don't think we outshot them. Even though the numbers may say the numbers, we competed. That was what tonight was about. It was just about being competitive the entire night. And you know what? When you're really competitive, sometimes shots fall. Like, that's really what that boils down to. But we competed at a ridiculously high level. You look at Malique's defense on JT Shoemate, first-team all-conference player. He was 1 for 5. He only was able to take 5 shots, and I think 1 or 2 of them was, win the game. I don't want to use over, but like under 2 minutes, and they're trying to scramble to get shots. We out-competed tonight, and Toledo's a really, really good team. It's one of the toughest parts about this conference is they're 27-7, and you don't go to the tournament. It's just it's a tough part of this league. But our guys deserved what happened here tonight.
Rob, let's talk about Sincere for a minute. He talked about 75-55, that being in his head, and he did really struggle in that game last year. Fast forward to this year, and he's going off in the second half. He didn't miss a shot in the second half, and they're chanting MVP as he goes to the free throw line.
Yeah.
How did you feel for him?
I felt awesome for him because, again, I said it after senior night. I thought that moment, because he did it senior night against Akron. It's hard. He's been here 2 years, so the nature of college athletics now is different than when you see people for 4 years. So you don't get to know them quite as well as when they're here for 4 years. But he was the conference MVP last year, and did some unbelievable things. And then last week, Friday night, they were chanting his name in a sold-out crowd for senior night. And then tonight, for him to be at the free throw line, I just felt great for him, and his family. His father, Kevin, I talk with all the time, and just really happy for them, for his family, for Melissa, Kevin, and his birth family, that they were able to be here and hear that for him.
Coach, can you just talk about how resilient everybody in this program has been over the last 365 days?
Yeah, it's a long year. We were thinking about it. I was thinking about it today as I'm sitting there. It's a long day for me now. Like, when you're sitting around waiting for this game, it's a long day, man. So I was thinking about, we were here last June, workout. We took a trip to Australia. My president actually said something about how somebody sent an email about we were in the Denver airport and saying how nice our guys were and how polite they were. And I, to myself, I'm like, which time? We were in the Denver airport. No team has spent more time in the Denver airport than our team. When we traveled the trip to Australia, when we went to Gonzaga, that was the most ridiculous trip I've ever. One day back, we're in the Denver airport again. I think Houston, Denver, I don't know what it was, but I was thinking about how hard these guys work, and the coaches at one point, before the game, again, you're talking about your team being worthy of winning, and that was one of the things we were talking about, just this team has been through this team. Forget about last year's team, this group with Miryne and Chris Payton and all them. These guys have been through a lot together, and have earned the right to play in the game, and then have earned the right, obviously, to win and advance to the NCAA tournament.
And last year, you talked about, you're getting emotional talking about last year with what was going on with Malique and his family.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him over this last year that, his mindset coming into the year, how it ended last year being disappointing? How, from day one, was he ready to go? What was he?
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's never not ready to go. He's never not ready to compete. He's the most competitive player I've ever been around. But I think what's changed from last year to this year is last year he was really competing, but he was also angry, right? So the other coaches, like, they didn't respect him as much as they should have because he was always mad when he was playing. Now, because again, it's development as a player, like he's learned how to channel his emotions better. I'm not going to tell you he never gets a technical. He got one yesterday. Okay, and he's gonna say stuff, but it's all positive towards his team, and his ability to lead is just incredibly unique, and there's very few that I've been around that have that ability.
Coach, after winning a conference like this, how do you get your team to refocus once you figure out what seed you are and go against probably what's going to be one of the top seeds?
Yeah, we'll deal with that one tomorrow, man. Like, let's see who we play. I'm going to enjoy tonight, and then tomorrow we will certainly, obviously, like these guys. The one thing again we talked about in our team, we've played. Houston's going to be a #1 seed. We played them on the road. We lost in the last minute. Gonzaga is probably going to be a 2 or 3 seed, I'm guessing, on the road. We were up with 4 minutes to go. So, matchups, all these things are important. Confidence is not going to be an issue for our group. Then obviously we're going to have to come up with a great game plan and execute and all that stuff. And whoever we play is going to be an elite team. So I'm just excited that we're going to get an opportunity to play on that stage. I'm excited for these guys to get that opportunity because in my eyes they've earned it. Like they've earned the right to do it. So I'm happy for them.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome, man.
Congrats, Coach.
Thank you, everyone.